the day. Please don't be late. Call your friends, I'll call my friends. Let's go and be changed. TMP is doing the most. TMP is doing the most. It's the time of the day. Please don't be late. Call your friends, I'll call my friends.
Hello everybody, welcome back to The Miracle Perspective, and this is the TMP Legends Show. Today we've got a very interesting guest. We're going over the border again. We're going to Zimbabwe today, and we've got Nicolatte Mrs. Matuku. And Nicolatte, I'm just going to give you a small background of Nicolatte, but before I get there, I want to give you the context of this interview. We're living in some very interesting times, guys, and right now we need the youth more than ever. Because as you can see, the future is almost uncertain right now. We don't know where things are going. The security of food is in great question. The security of jobs in question. Security of businesses, as you can see, the economy is not really conducive for anything right now. So we really need strategic thinkers. We need people who are going to think outside of the box and make things happen. So I needed someone who is already doing something like that can teach other people to do the same, or if not more than that. And Nicolatte is a person that I met on LinkedIn, and I saw her profile, man. I just invite you guys, go and check her out on LinkedIn. I saw her profile. She's amazing. Let me go straight to her profile, read you something, and then I'm going to introduce Nicolatte to the TMP Legends Show. Nicolatte is a passionate Pan-African youth development specialist with over 10 years experience in youth marketing and business development strategy. 10 years experience. She said, I can do this. She's 30 years old. She has done a whole lot of things. Welcome to the show, Nicolatte. How are you?
Hi, thank you, Miracle. I'm good, and thanks for having me on. I'm excited to do this.
I'm excited to have you here. Tell me about this phrase that I just read here. You are a passionate Pan-African youth development specialist with over 10 years experience. Please tell us about yourself and that.
Okay, the 10 years, where does it span from?
Yes.
So I started working when I was a student at WITS. I was studying media communication and anthropology at BA. And so I started working when I was a student with HDI, which is a youth marketing agency. So that's when it started, which is why it's 10 years now and I'm only 30. And why I became an African African advocate or activist is because, one, we live in Africa. Two, I think I have the past 10 years or the past 8 years, I've dedicated most of my time to traveling around Africa, mostly Southern Africa. And then, the different cultures and the different systems that I came to learn about when I traveled, what inspired me to do everything that I do. So you go to Zambia, or you go to Malawi, or you go to DR Congo, and then, you see what's lacking, what's there, what you can take from South Africa, or what you can take from Zimbabwe, you can implement there, or what you can bring to South Africa from those places. So that's how I became a Pan-African and, a problem-solving young Pan-African.
Wow. And 3 years ago, or let's say 3 to 4 years ago, you became a business development manager for Slikker. How did that come about, and how was that journey for you?
So it was an amazing journey. Though I had studied a bit of music in university, in theory, doing it in practical was a whole lot different from what you know from school. But it was amazing, because even though it was the music industry, my role was getting businesses to partner with us in order to start making money for the artists and making a whole industry of young emerging artists, and those that have made it have an extra source of income within their music career, and also teach them how they can leverage from brand and become ambassadors for all these brands, make money from it. And also, I think another thing that I learned was, music in itself was just a CV for artists. It's the endorsements that actually, make the money from them. So that's the end that we were pushing. Just bringing people closer to what the music industry looks like and how the music of business works, besides the music and the music that you see on TV or hear on radio, the behind the scenes, what really goes on behind the scenes. Yeah.
Wow. And tell me, when you were doing that, that was not the only focus that you had. You were involved in other organizations in Africa, Ghana, different things. Can you tell us a bit of that experience and how you were managing your time during that time?
So, believe it or not, my job at SlikourOnLife was a full-time job, a 9 to 5. It was a 9 to 5. But the beauty of it that I commend him for was it was a Black-owned business that was that had a lot of young people. I think we were all young people, and so our corporate culture was not that you were used to. He was very open to, you are here but explore this other thing, you're here but explore this other thing. So his management style is that enabled all of us that were in the company to explore our other avenues. So I guess so that's how I managed to travel. As long as you do your work and you meet your deadlines, I had ample time to do everything else. So I think I also learned a lot on the freedom that you can give people that you work around with or people that you potentially employ. They work their maximum and their best also in such environments. So so I think that's where I got enough time to do everything that I was able to do within those 4 years.
And now here you are part of a farm that you were convinced by your husband to join, and you are enjoying it so much right now, and you are doing another youth development activity. Tell us about that. And before you respond to that, let me just give you perspective. Let me just give the viewers perspective of why I'm asking these questions. I'm asking these questions to show my viewers and everyone who's seeing this that we all have 24 hours. But how you choose to spend that 24 hours determines how your life turns out. And here's an example, a living example. So we're going to get to the next questions of what does Nicolatte think the problem with African youth is today? But before we go there, let's talk about your farming experience. Tell us a little bit about that.
So my husband, he's a pig farmer, and he used to tell me about it. I had no interest, but I used to listen because he's part of my career as well. And he kept on saying, you should come and see because you're a youth development activist. So imagine if you can empower young people to, do little things like agriculture or livestock farming. Imagine if you can do that and you're a woman, like they listen to you. Imagine if you can empower them. So I took the theory course and I did the course and I was hooked. Surprisingly. And how we then got to this whole youth development within it is, I think I made a post just talking on LinkedIn, just talking about my experience as a new pig farmer, and it hit like 250,000 views, and my inbox was flooding. So then that's when I actually saw that there was an interest in this. Young people actually want to learn these things, but they do not have access to it. So I talked to like our mentors, if we could erect a structure on the farm and then start teaching young people the theory and the practical course on how to do it. So sometimes you don't learn it and you go and do it directly, but then you put your foot already into farming, and it's a start. So yay.
Wow. And that's happening in Zimbabwe, right?
No, this is in South Africa. We haven't done Zimbabwe yet. Well, yes. Okay. So we are hoping to do Zimbabwe next year, March.
Interesting stuff. So tell me, Nicolatte, what do you think is the problem with our youth? Why are our youth not doing what you're doing?
So I think the biggest problem is the ideas. They just stick to what they know, and I don't blame them for that. For me to be here, I had to so hard and so long for me to even start thinking that I want this, or I want to explore this. So stimulation, you need to travel. You need to get out of your comfort zone. You need to travel. And by travel, I don't even mean cross the borders. If you can, yay. But if you can just do even inter-provincial traveling, you just learn a lot of things. So you get new ideas, networking, start going to all those free events that you see. In South Africa, I've attended, I don't know how many events that are free, where you just learn new things and you meet new people. That's where you get your brain stimulated for things. So I think, which is one of our pillars in our organization, stimulation of the brain and exposure. How do we expose people to start thinking differently? Because I think I'll speak from a professional point of view. People just go for the safe professions that they know, accounting, because it's what they know. They haven't really been exposed to, other things. So they just...
And whoever knew about pig farming?
Yeah. So it's what so they stick to what they know. But I think the broader your network is, the higher the chance you learn new things and you stimulate your brain to, and now I think with globalization now, the internet, you can search whatever it is on YouTube. Call it the university of everybody. You learn new things. You just see videos, and there's so much information on the internet where you can get information. So I think let's stimulate our brain. That's the big thing. Start thinking outside the box. Start researching. Start listening. TED Talks. It's free on YouTube. Start listening to TED Talks. So that's how I started. That way you start stimulating your brain. So yeah. And another thing, this is specifically for African youth, is we are consumerists. We are highly consumerist, and we are okay with importing things. Compared to our mothers' generations, where they used to do things on their own. They used to sew clothes on their own. They used to do their own hair. They used to. So I think that I teach that notion of let's start manufacturing, let's start doing things on our own. You get so many things to do. The moment you start doing something, you get into the next, you perfect it. Being a self-sufficient continent. So I think those are the two things. Let's run away from the white collar job. Let's get our hands dirty. Let's start producing. Yeah. So those are the two things that I fight the youth with. Get out there, get ideas, and, start thinking about how you can solve problems in your own community. Start thinking about how you can, be a problem solver and develop a business from there.
Wow. And I echo what you're saying in this light, in this manner. I mean, I got to get you on the show through the use of social media, LinkedIn. Whoever knew I was going to ever know a person like you? And I reached out to you, and you were kind enough to also respond, and look where we are today. So I really do agree and support what you're saying, that if we just decide to stimulate our brain cells and decide to go out on a journey of searching, we will find. So hey, tell me, are you open for anyone to join you in the pig farming courses that you are about to do there, or is it for specific people? How do people get in touch with you?
So they can get in touch with me on Nicolatte, NICOLATTE at theafricanjourney.com. That's my email address. I'm also going to give you to just pin that. So you can just send me an email. So this is open to everybody.
Okay.
This is open to everybody. That's that just wants a clean start. So I think that's also the beauty of practical farming. You don't need to go to university. You will come and we'll teach you how to do it practically, and you start your own journey. And I've got another lavender farming class that's gonna come at a lavender farm. I'm also going to post that on my LinkedIn.
Wow.
Yeah, how to, it's cheap. It's a cheap startup, but yeah, we'll talk about that some other time.
When you come back again.
When I come back again.
Wow. Thank you so much, Nicolatte. I think from me, I am very happy with what you offered today and what you shared with the people. And I hope people got something out of this. And definitely the future of Africa is bright. Indeed, let's walk the African journey, as you say.
Yay. And just before I go, I just wanted to say, guys, whatever idea that you have in your head, just start. Don't wait for money. Don't wait for investment. Just start. Start where you are. If your dream is too big and needs investment, start with something that is small and then build towards it. But just start. Just start.
Just start. There you have it, guys. From us to you, we say Africa's biggest potential lies within itself, and that's Nicolatte Matuku. It's finished.
Miracle perspective is in the perspective. It's finished.